Hi everyone! Okay, before we get into our lead sheet or chord chart, we're going to go over some of the chords that we're going to use in this piece. This video assumes that you've had some practice forming chords both in writing on the music staff and also playing piano, but this is going to be just a quick review. So the chart that we're going to use today is in F major, and so F major has one flat, the B flat. So first we're going to go over the chords that fit into this key signature. So we're going to do F major first. So if you can see the F, for the F chord, you're going to start on F, skip over to A, and then skip over to C. So that's going to look like this. Oops, backwards. Okay. You could also have a G minor chord. That's the G. Then you skip up and there's the B flat that's in the key signature, and then you skip up again and that's D. Like this. Alright, you could have A, skip up to C and E. You could have B flat, skip up to D. Whoops, that didn't work right. Wrong way. You could have B flat, skip up to D, and then skip up to F. So that would look like this. So you have the B flat that's in the key signature, and then you skip up to the next notes, the D and the F. So if you're noticing, when we start a chord, you always start on the letter of the chord. So if it's B flat, you start on B flat, and then you have two skips. We'll talk about what kind of skips come up in just a second. So I'm just rearranging the notes so you can see the skips easier, but I'm not changing any of the flats or sharps. So if you have a C chord, you can start on C, skip up to E, and then skip up to G. Putting the A in the right place. You could also have a D chord, D, skip up to F, skip up to A. We're not going to go over the E chord because in this chord chart it does something different. But if it did have it in the chord chart, just as the regular way to do the key signature, you would have E, G, and then B flat, right here. And then you're back to F. We have the F, A, C. Show it more clearly. Okay, now let's talk about some of the inversions. So inversions are the same chord with different intervals on top. So this is the root position because you start with the F, which is the main note of the chord, and you skip up. You can take these same notes and rearrange them. So you can put the F on top. So now you have A, C, and then F. This is the first inversion. You can take the A and put that on top. Now you have C, F, A. This is all the same chord, just in different positions. We're going to be doing this a lot with the different chords. All right, let's look at B flat. So B flat's on the bottom, D and then F. And you put the B flat here. You have D, F, B flat, F, B flat, D. Okay, let's go over to the piano to look at these on the piano. Then we're going to come back and look at some of the blocks that use different chords for this chord chart that don't fit into the F major key signature. Okay, now we're going to look at different chords that you can play on the piano in order to make this chord chart. Okay, so we're in F major for this chord chart. So here's F. Remember we have the B flat. That's just so you can get the sound of the F scale in your ear. Okay, so here's F, skip up to A, skip up to C. If we do the G chord, has the B flat in it, A chord, B flat, C chord, and the D chord. Now, as you could probably tell, some of the notes sounded different than some of the chords sounded different than the other chords. So we're going to look at the major chords first, and then we will look at the minor chords. The major chords are the F chord, the B flat chord, and the C chord. The major chords are formed by a major third, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4 half steps, and then a minor third, 1, 2, 3. So this is a major third, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a minor third, 1, 2, 3. Same with the C. 1, 2, 3, sorry, there's the major third, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the minor third, 1, 2, 3. Now, you can do these as inversions. And put the F on top. And now put the A on top. Just like we did with the blocks. Okay, now I'm going to show you the B flat. I'm going to move it down here so it's still in the camera range. Put the B flat on top. Put the D on top. Alright, now we're going to do the C chord. Put C on top. Put E on top. Okay, now let's look at the minor chords. In the chord charts, they will have a small m after the letter. So this will have G, capital G, and then a lowercase m. This sounds different than the major. This is built on a minor third, 1, 2, 3 half steps, and then a major third, 1, 2, 3, 4 half steps. A minor and D minor. I'm going to move lower so you can see it. Okay, now let's go over the inversions for these. Here's the G minor. Move the G up on top. Move the B flat on top. A minor. Move the A on top. Move the C on top. And the D minor. The D on top. F on top. Now we're going to go back and look at some of the blocks to look at some other chords that we're going to use in this chord chart that do not follow the F major key signature of 1 flat, B flat. Okay, now we're going to talk about the 2 chords in this chord chart that are not in the F major key signature. So the first one we're going to look at is E minor. Alright, so remember in F major, which comes with a B flat. So we need an E. We need to skip up from that, G, and we need a B. Now B flat is in the key signature, but to make E minor, I'll show you on the piano in a second, you have to have a regular B. This would be too small. This would be E diminished, but we want E minor, so we have to change it to B natural. So this is going to be a white key instead of the B flat that we had earlier. Okay, the other unusual chord in this chord chart is D major. Now, these are the chords for the D minor chord that we looked at a minute ago. But to change this from minor to major, we have to take the third of the chord, which is the second note in this group, and we have to raise it, so we have to make it sharp. So now we have D, F sharp, and A. F sharp is not in the key signature of F major, but for the D major chord that's coming up in the middle of the chord chart, we need it to look like this. Okay, now let's go look at it on the piano. Okay, now we're going to look at the E minor chord. Remember, in F major, we have a B flat. So usually for an E chord, in the key of F major, we would have this. But the chord chart says that we need E minor because it has a capital E and then a lowercase m. Remember that we need to have a minor third with 1, 2, 3 half steps and a major third with 4 half steps. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's our E minor chord. And here are the inversions. Put the E on top, put with the G on top. All right, the other unusual chord is the D major chord. In F major, we would normally play it like this, which would be D minor, capital D, lowercase m. But the chord chart says D without a capital M. That means that they want the major version. So we have to have a major third, 1, 2, 3, 4 half steps, and a minor third on top, 1, 2, 3 half steps. So here are the inversions for that one.